Good morning and welcome to the market forecast. Today is Wednesday, June the 30th, end of the quarter. Half the year is over, and we've got some markets looking interesting, at least to say the least, this morning. As always, we're going to be looking for accurate context through the lens of risk management and always thinking about staying very patient as far as I'm concerned. My name is John Hoagland. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it's a pleasure to be with everybody this morning. If you're already in the markets, hopefully you got things going your way. Important economic numbers due out today. 7:15. The ADP employment number came out. They were looking for 6,000. It came up much higher than that, 692,000. So some possible good news regarding the unemployment number due out on Friday, as well as the jobless claims tomorrow. Hopefully, this is all going to be good news for us. 8:45 Chicago PMI, kind of a minor number. 9 o'clock pending home sales, maybe a little bit more impactful. And then, of course, for our crude traders, the EIA Petroleum Stats Report due out at 9:30. Just kind of looking, at the landscape in the markets here this morning. U.S. indices kind of mixed to lower in early trade after a very positive consumer confidence number yesterday. I didn't realize how impactful that was. There's actually a handful of earnings that are being watched this morning and this afternoon. Micron Technologies, Constellation Brands, General Mills, and Bed Bath & Beyond. Bitcoin down over 4% this morning. OPEC talks have now been delayed by 1 day to allow more time to resolve differences over production policy. Prices were up about 1.5% last time I looked, after another drop in stocks reported by the API yesterday. They would think it was about 8.1 million barrel drop. Yes, 8.1 million barrel drop. The EIA looking for, I think it's a 4.7 million barrel drop in crude. So prices not looking like they're heading lower anytime soon, at least not today. We'll find out what OPEC has to say apparently tomorrow or Friday. As always, the VIX up about 4%. A little bit of anxiety in investors as these markets just keep kind of creeping up and taking out all-time highs. Dollar index is up a little bit this morning, 92.15, and the yield on the 10-year, a little bit of a downtick, 1.45%. As always, hit the lucky like button. If you want to have a good day, hit the lucky like button. Share, comment, question, feedback, and heckling are always welcome. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notified when we do go live. It is Wednesday. It is group coaching day. I'm going to put the link in here one more time for everybody. Love to have you there. I got a couple of really good emailed in questions for today's session. And of course, any questions are open. So nobody knows everything. I certainly don't, but we're going to have a good conversation. It's one of my favorite parts of the week. Let's say good morning. Rafal, good morning. You win the prize this morning. Tone, good morning. Brian, Theo, Miguel, James, Bill, Micah, good morning. Richie, Jorg, Deanna, Zorain, John, Charles, Mike Magallanes. There was a Diego Magallanes on the recap last night. A relative of yours, Chef? Tim G, Andre, good morning. Jason, good Buenos Wednesday. Oh, I saw a stat that says July 1st is positive 90% of the time over the past 30 years. Do you use this type of information in your trading? It's not a stat that I've kind of looked at, but it kind of makes sense. Maybe a little patriotic boost on the 30th, on July 1st. I never know. George, good morning. Greg H. Keith, good morning. Vici, good morning. Lemur, good morning. Ray Trades, Vince, good morning. And Ray. Murph, where are you? Where's Murph? I got an email I want to thank him for. If you're here, Murph, thanks for the email. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the group coaching today. All right, Kevin, good morning. All right, so The charts, they've been solid for, I don't know, about the last week or so. They just went out on me. So I'm going to get them up here, and we're going to head right into the crude oil daily chart. Should be up and off we go. Okay. Let's make this so we can actually see it. Okay, the market really range bound maybe for the last, well, even since rollover. Usually we'd see more directional activity after rollover. Again, the API announced an 8.1 million barrel draw yesterday. The estimate for the EIA is again 4.7 million barrel draw. Range bound, adherent to last week's range, basically. I mean, there was the high on Monday. Here was the low yesterday, back in the middle of it. Really just kind of short time frame controlled. It was a pretty decent boost in open interest yesterday off of the weekly low as well as the weekly kickoff low. We added 9,100 on a rejection of lower pricing. So we're right back to where we started from. We are starving for data. That boost in open interest is the first really kind of decent boost we've seen since the rollover. So open interest had been trending lower until then. Take a look at the 30-minute chart here, and let's see if we see anything right off the bat. Okay. We've got some overnight longs here. Did we open with a gap? Looks like we opened with a gap, but we've now since closed the gap. I don't know if the opening range is the high of the session or not. We have a naked point of control that we checked just before the open here. We've got another naked point of control that hasn't been checked at our weekly kickoff level here, 42.30. That's weekly kickoff low. What we're really kind of looking at is trying to be patient and waiting for the extremes. This point of control up here and then last week's high is an important level that I'm going to be looking for an opportunity in. If we've opened outside of range, which we did, and we reaccept inside value from yesterday, that may bring forth a value area special situation play. Again, acceptance inside value from yesterday is what we're looking for. Sometimes it takes some time. Sometimes it happens pretty quickly. Right now, I'm not seeing that we're showing any real acceptance inside value from Friday or from yesterday. I mean, usually I'm going to be looking for like 2 30-minute bars to close inside of value from yesterday before I'll start to think about taking this trade. Sometimes it goes without us. Sometimes it doesn't happen. We never can control that. We're just looking for probabilities. And a reacceptance in value from yesterday adds the probability of a move back down to value low, just to check the value low. And take a look at the E-mini S&Ps, another all-time high yesterday. Okay, here we go. So last week's high, been kind of magnetic towards it a little bit. We added 14,000 in open interest yesterday on the new high, but it was kind of a yawner. We didn't really bring in a bunch of new volume. The market just seems to want to drift higher. It eats shorts. That's what it does. I'm sensing in myself and in others a lot of anxiety as to where price is going to go from here. Does it seem as though the auction is kind of tiring? And there go the charts. Let's get this up again. I am so sorry. I get it fixed. I get it fixed, and then just randomly, here it goes. And here we go. Back. So, we're always asking ourselves, what direction is the market attempting to go, and how good of a job is it doing getting there? Are we seeing an increasing volume? Are we seeing open interest increasing? Is the momentum maintaining? We're always going to have pullbacks. Everybody, I'm pretty sure, is wondering when is the next pullback. We've seen a lot of traders even mentioning it in the chat here. When is this thing going to get some relief from the rally? So there's a lot of structural weaknesses down below in this move to the upside. By structural weakness, we're talking about gaps and unchecked points of control, naked points of control that the market never really gets to go and recheck. Now, points of control, what are they? They're the highest volume price. They're the single price with the highest volume from the session. They are comfort levels. Okay, in volume profile, that's what the point of control is. In market profile, it's the most visited price closest to the center of the range is the point of control. The point being is the market has a tendency to try and trade back to points of control. Now we're starting to see this market leaving yesterday's range. This is last week's high, a previous high. Now it looks like we're maybe headed down to go recheck this point of control, which remains unchecked in regular trading hours. Okay, and now it looks like we may even start to open with a gap. So, do we have any overnight inventory to really worry about? Not necessarily. We were long, we were short, back to settlement. This is new business coming in pre-session here. I think this is going to be increasing my anxiety as to when this thing is going to start to pull back. We're going to probably open with a gap. And if we can't close that gap, there's plenty of visuals for traders to eyeball and to push price to. This point of control, still unchecked in regular trading hours. This gap, still unchecked in regular trading hours. Even more down below, another naked point of control, still unchecked in regular trading hours. Still unchecked in regular trading hours. So this certainly could be setting up for a pullback. Don't fight any directional moves. And if you don't see the pullback and you can't find a way to get into it, just try and stay patient. Remember how resilient these equities markets truly are. Retail traders, speculators spend a lot of time and lose a lot of money always trying to work the short side to try and catch the big move to the downside. And by the time the big move comes, some of them are not available to take advantage of it. Let's look at the NASDAQ now. Boy, just really running the center of the path here, aren't we, in the NASDAQ? Yesterday, a little bit different. We did put in a new high, but we lost open interest. We lost 4,700 estimated open interest. Still eating shorts. This push to the upside, probably a short squeeze because we did lose open interest. Volume has been maintaining pretty well in the NASDAQ. I would say a little bit better than the S&Ps. Oh, there it goes. Bless it. I'll get this up here again. We'll get through this. And here we go. I apologize for this. So again, NASDAQ. It has similar structural weaknesses as the S&Ps. Of course they do. They're related markets, right? This push to the upside on lower open interest does indicate some potential of a short squeeze. 30-minute chart. Okay, remember the S&Ps. S&Ps were already breaking out below yesterday's range. NASDAQ, not so much. We've put in another all-time high in the overnight session, which we did not do in the S&Ps. We know that the market doesn't like to leave overnight highs, all-time highs overnight. Do we have any overnight inventory? No, we don't. Are we going to be opening with a gap? It's probably a higher probability of a gap higher than in the Nasdaq, than certainly in the S&Ps. S&Ps, we're looking at a gap lower. So again, we've got these markets crossing our eyes, heading in different directions, or at least seeming to be. Overnight all-time high. I'm going to try and stay patient here in the Nasdaq. I'm going to try and find some sort of an opportunity as the day goes on, because we're in range. We're not opening with a gap. If we start to come off a little bit, like kind of like the S&Ps, we may have a move back to point of control or value low from yesterday. We've got a still unchecked point of control. We got real close to it yesterday. Is that close enough for rock and roll? I don't know. We have to see. So trying to stay patient here in the Nasdaq. S&P is giving me a little bit more anxiety. Let's take a quick look at where they are now. Yep. Okay. Looking more like we may open with a gap to the downside. We're kind of weird to see the S&Ps open with a gap to the downside and the Nasdaq open with an upside gap. I don't know if I've seen that. All right. Here's the gold. Test of weekly kickoff low yesterday brought forth some pretty swift rejection. It was pretty high volume. We added 7,300 in open interest. So it seems as though the market is getting some blood and some interest back in it. Unfortunately, for longs, it's kind of looking like the market is intending to try and probe lower with that open interest increase on a down day on higher volume. We're testing weekly kickoff low as we speak. We've left the opening range at the high of the session, yet this initial rejection below weekly kickoff low, retesting now, okay? If we exhaust buyers that we found here yesterday, then we can certainly move this market lower. There's a couple of swing lows back here, 1724, that's another $25 move. If that is what is in the cards for us. Again, we have to make sure that we are accepting back inside, I mean below that weekly kickoff level. I know I just lost the charts here. Let me get them back up. This is upsetting. It's very upsetting. It's unnerving. Okay. Opening range, the high of the session. That opening range high is 1761.60. Do we have any overnight inventory? It looks like we've reconciled the better part of it before we opened regular trading hours. Now it looks like we are starting to one time frame lower. We are holding below weekly kickoff low. We've got a naked point of control and a value low here to maybe act as speed bumps. But as long as we continue to see volume down here, as long as we spend time down here, it's going to increase the probability of acceptance below weekly kickoff low here. You can see the volume we accumulated here yesterday. It wasn't quite ready. There is the potential for a repair day today because it is a double distribution trend day yesterday, and well, kind of a double distribution trend day. There was no real volume here. We've got point of control here, which is a high volume node, and we've got another high volume node up here at value high. Have we checked that volume node? Are we going to go and recheck this volume node down here? It doesn't really give us too much opportunity to really look at that. And the way this market is magnetic towards this weekly kickoff level and still inside of value from yesterday gives me the idea I think I can maybe wait a little bit to find good trade location if I am not already short off the opening range. For the euro, okay, just kind of like gold, not quite at weekly kickoff low here. We've got last week's low, right here, kind of a double bottom, not a very strong low. What did we do as far as open interest is concerned? Volume and open interest largely moot. We added 400 approximately yesterday on this move to the downside. Not a very impactful number. We're going to be looking for bigger opportunities, probably off last week's low / weekly kickoff low. 30-minute chart, opening range, high of the session. Happens in the value area from yesterday, and sometimes it actually plays out. We'd never really know. We've got last week's low right in the neighborhood here. This could be an interesting opportunity. Looking like we're a little bit short. So this may be a bit of a speed bump for us. The opening range high is 119.10.5 ticks. And we are working on rejecting value from yesterday. We also have the opening range high in the 10-year. Here, let's take a look. So we're still kind of far away from more important inflection levels here. We got weekly kickoff levels. We got last week's high and low. We're still really largely in short time control. Open interest has been creeping up a little bit. We added another 13,000 in open interest yesterday. Not a huge number for the 10-year, but there's a little bit of a trend going in an increase in open interest, which gives me hope for better opportunities as things change here. But volume, okay, nothing great. Open interest increasing in a range-bound market. There's some energy coming into this, and again, looking forward to some kind of change. It doesn't look like it's going to be happening that much today. We had a point of control check here. We had another point of control check here, and there goes the charts. I'm going to bring this up one more time, and then I've got to go gremlin hunting. All right. So, this point of control here, this was a point of control that got tested. We are still looking at this level as an important level, apparently, because the market opened with the opening range at the dead high of the session. It's basically driven right back to this point of control that was checked 2 days ago and seems to be finding a degree of support there. We've got yesterday's point of control down below, value low, and another naked point of control down below here. So, if we can't take out the high of the opening range, it just makes sense. It just don't even have to say it's likely to come back and recheck some of these levels down below. I think that's pretty good. Okay. All right. So, what do we have here? Hey, good morning, Rick. I didn't see you pop in. Murph. Good morning. I appreciate I appreciate all those humble opinions. Thank you very much, Murph. Danielle, Angelina, Vlad, most likely to have a pullback today. You're welcome, Daniel. Jerry's awake. Good. I'm trying to be as well. Didn't gold open inside range and value. Open range trade off. No. Maybe. It was, from what I remember, Vince, it was a pretty substantial opening range. So it would have probably been one that I would have seen if the market could come back inside the opening range after breaking out below it before getting into it. It was a pretty big opening range, I thought, so it was going to be a little bit more risk. And, the only reason I would take it is because we are so close to an area of inflection in the weekly kickoff level that we're looking at longer time frame buyers to need to or have to adjust inventories. So the fact that it's that close to an important level, makes it a little bit contextually okay, if that makes sense. We'll talk more about that later. Trading research, Jerry is awake. Weekly open range. Does that start on Sunday or Monday? I'm the weekly opening range. I mean, if you're looking for all the information, including overnight, I would say that starts on Sunday night. But if you're looking for like regular trading hours, that would be Monday morning. Looking like a massive ledge on ES at 42.75. Looks like it's going to break. Huh? We'll see. All right. All right. I think we're going to call this a forecast. Looking forward to the group coaching. Trading. Just pop a question in the chat. Okay. For the group coaching. All right. Let's take our deep breath. Stay humble, grateful, and creative in your trading today. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at group coaching, trading research. Don't forget to bring your question. See you back here at 3 o'clock to see how this day played out for the market recap. Get out there and profit today, trade well, and we'll see you 1 o'clock for group coaching. Have a great day.